Hello everybody, welcome to Program Strings. I'm Henriette and this is lesson 39 in the violin class for beginners. And today we are learning study number 4, that is if you have a red book. You can find it in the red book on page 27. And the same song, or almost entirely the same song, is called study number 5 in an older version of your book. And you can find that on page 18. Now I'm saying almost the same version because there is one bar where the notes are slightly different. So I'll point those out when we get there, okay? In fact, it's only one note, so we can live with that. Now in a moment we'll start and I'll play this for you first. And by the end of this lesson, we're going to have a go at playing this as a duet again. So lots to look forward to in this lesson. I'll play it for you first. Lovely song, I think, and this deals with two different issues here. First of all, you've probably seen that I'm using quite a lot of the fourth finger, so this is really a strengthening exercise for your pinky. But also, this study explores the difference between playing in a major key and playing in a minor key, and what exactly that is we'll come to in a moment. What I'd like you to do is just play it with me from the beginning first. So we're playing 4 bars, and that in my book is the first line of this piece, and we're going to go very slowly, and I would like you to use the whole bow for every slur and for every crotchet, so every quarter note. So use the whole bow all the time. Now when we play this, the second finger is going to go next to the first finger, so you've got fingers 1 and 2 together. And then you've got a gap for finger number 3, and you've also got a gap for finger number 4. So that is going to be my finger pattern, and this means we're starting, for those of you who want to know a bit more about that, in the key of D minor. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Really good playing, well done you. Now shall we just do that one more time? When we play the notes D, E, F natural, that is what our notes are called right here, this is how I can check that we're in a minor key. You've probably observed already that it sounds quite sad. And when we play from the D to the E, that is a whole step up. from E to F natural, which is the first finger to the second finger, those two fingers are together and you've got a semitone, a half step between those two notes. And that is what gives me the clue that this is a minor key. If I played that with a wide space between fingers 1 and 2, it would suddenly sound a lot happier. We'll come to that in a second, but let's now make sure that we've got our fingers together, fingers 1 and 2, and let's play this same bit again. I'll count us in 1 and 2 and 3, 4 again, because that is how I'd like you to count this music as we play. Here we go. 1 and 2 and. Lovely job. And now we're going on to the A string. Let's just play the next line, shall we? We'll keep slow as we did before. 1 and 2 and. If you kept up with me there, well done, very good. Now here we've got A, first finger on A, and then a C sharp. So unlike the first line where we played the second finger together with the first finger, in this line we have a space. So I'm playing, can you see the gap there? Whereas in line 1 we play, and you clearly hear the difference. Yeah, so here we play in a major key and the whole music sounds a lot more happy, a lot more cheerful. Let us play the second line again, shall we? 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Lovely job. Shall we carry on now? 1 and 2 and. Let's hold it here, shall we? Now this bar, the last 2 bars here, for most people are incredibly challenging. So if that's you, that's totally okay. Yeah, this is something new that we haven't really done that much of. So let's practice it today, shall we? Let's go on that bar that consists of only quavers, which is bar 11. Now what I'd like you to do is really slap on this 4th finger, because you're going to have a free placement, so you haven't got any other fingers to help you there. You just play A and then 4. So let's practice that a few times, shall we? And if you like, you can check it with your E string. Because those 2 notes should really be exactly the same. Shall we try that again? A and 4. So if you find yourself playing like this, you haven't quite made it. You need to go a little bit higher. There we go. Can you hear that? Or if you go a little bit too high, you might sound like this. Oh, that's a bit too sharp. So in that case, just relax your fourth finger a little bit and move it down the string a tiny bit. There we go. So you might check that quite a lot. You might even use this exercise at the start of your study so that you are refreshing your memory every day when you play this piece, okay? Now let's play that same bar again. And now when you hit the first finger, which is the third note in bar 11, try to leave your first finger on the string when you play whatever follows, okay? So here we go, slowly, and A. Now try to leave this finger on the string. Add your second finger to it now. Leave the second finger down while you play the 3. Let's practice that again, shall we? A. Hold it here a moment. Can you see that at this stage I've got all 4 fingers on the string? Carry on with the next bar. Awesome, that is a super technique. Let's practice it 2 more times, shall we? Starting on A and leave it down. And once again, and give your left hand a good rest. Make sure your thumb is nice and soft now, because that is quite tiring for the hand. Now, so you've left your fingers down on the string, really good technique. Now I'd like you to listen to that 4th finger. That pinky will gradually become stronger when you play it more often, but in order to help it and to progress, getting a little bit stronger, a little bit faster, I would like you to aim to slap this finger on the string. So when we go here, you can probably hear the rattling of my finger on the string. You can hear it come down. So I'm slapping it down from my base knuckle here, and I'm really trying to hit it quite hard with that pinky. And that way you're going to hit it the same every time, and that's what we're going to listen out for when we next play it. So does your 4th finger sound exactly the same each time you play it? You've played it 8 times in a row in this section, so let's listen out if it's exactly the same all of those 8 times. Here we go. And yes, well done. And now you can hear that it starts to define your music a little bit more, because those notes are slurred. So if we slur two notes, we always have to make sure that we define the start of the second note under the slur. That's always the fourth finger in these two bars, isn't it? That you define it really clearly, because otherwise you get it too blurry, too sort of whooshy when you don't slam your fourth finger on. Can you hear that? There is a moment where there is sort of a little bit of a screechy sound because I'm not coming right down with my fourth finger, and that's what we're aiming for by slamming it on. Let's play the same two bars again. Focus on those fourth fingers again. And is coming very, very good. And you notice also that I'm staying really slow all that time, because only if I play slowly can I really focus on those fourth fingers, you see. So if you find that it isn't working for you, try slowing it right down so that you've got time to think about all these things, because A, the fingers aren't very easy, B, the bowing isn't very easy, and C, you've got those fourth fingers, which are for most people the most challenging fingers to play, you see. So you stack one challenge on top of one another, and all you can do to sort it out is slow it right down. Now, enough about that. Let's now start on that long A that we finished on a moment ago, and let's carry on. So we're starting on bar 13. 3, 4. Let's go up to here. This is bar 16. And bar 16 is the bar that I've already mentioned, where the two books are slightly different. So if you play from a red book, you have written there 4, 3, then 2 as an F sharp, so a high second finger, 1. However, if you play from an older edition, that F sharp is an F natural, and I'll play you both ways. So this is the red book. In your red book, it's indicated. Okay, in the green book, it's indicated. And here you can already hear with that F natural that it brings us back to the key of D minor. In the red book, it says this, and we're still in a major key, aren't we? Because that second finger is a wide gap. It sounds much happier. But in an older edition of your book, your music is already showing that we're going to continue in a minor key again. So this is your green book version. Find me alternately playing F sharp and F natural, so that I help you guys with the red book a little bit and I help you guys with the green book a little bit. And you might write this into your music so that you always play the same thing and you play either F sharp or F natural. Now let's carry on now from bar 17, and now we're back whatever version of the book you have, like we started with the second finger close to the first finger on the D string. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Notice that this section is exactly the same as the first line. I won't spend too much time on that. Let's go straight on and going to come back to those quavers on the D string, D4, 1, 4 and so on. But let's just talk about the last 2 bars, and we've got that out of the way. Here you see semi-breves, the last 2 bars of your piece. Semi-breves or whole notes. You know that these are 4 counts long, and since we've been playing 1 count on each bow, your bow goes by comparison super slow at the end. So let's play the last 2 bars and super slow with your bow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. And you notice the difference when you play a whole bow on each crotchet or quarter note compared with these last 2 bars. There is such a massive difference in speed of the bow. Good job. Now, I'd like us to go back to bar 23 now, and that is the same section as what we've practiced on the A string, where you slap your 4th fingers on, except now we're doing that on the D string. So this is bar 23. And I want you to do the same thing here, slapping your fingers on and trying to leave your fingers down. However, since you now play a low 2nd finger, this is slightly harder than how you've done it on the A string previously in this piece. So keep the slow pace. We're going from bar 23. Here we go. And just hold it here for a moment. Can you just check if you've got all 4 fingers on the string now? If you have, superb. If you haven't quite managed, we're starting it again, 23, and you can practice it this time. And is called a minim, or a half note, Americans call this. How many quavers do you think fit in the time of this minim here, this D? So a minim equals 2 crotchets. In America you'll say a half note equals 2 quarter notes. Now each of those quarter notes consist of 2 quavers, 2 eighth notes. So in that minim, in that half note, we have got 4 quarter notes, 4 quavers. So in order to keep this D for long enough so that it matches the rest of your music, keep on counting your quavers, your quarter notes, as you've played them in the previous bar, while you play this long D, you see? And that way you're going to resist speeding up your music on this long note. So let's go back to bar 23 once more, and this time we play it all the way through to the end. 1 and 2 and And this is why I think this is an absolutely awesome method. As a method, it's just well thought out, because you remember that a little bit earlier we were talking about how slow your bow goes on the last 2 notes. Actually, he already helps you achieve that by playing the 3rd and 4th bar from the end 2 beats to a bow. So if you compare the last 5 bars, you can see in the 5th bar from the end, which is bar 24, you play 1 count to a bow. Then in the following 2 bars, you play 2 counts to a bow. and in the last 2 bars you play 4 counts to a bow, so your bow goes gradually more slowly, you see, and that's why I love this violin method. That's just by the by. Now, we've said by the end of this lesson you can play this as a duet, so here we go. So when we play the duet, you begin, you play the top line and you begin. So I'll count us in 1 and 2 and 3, 4, and that's when you start. The duet part doesn't start until 2 beats later. You can probably glance at the lower part and you can see this starts with 2 counts rest. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Well, if you made that, I am in awe of you, because that is difficult to keep your concentration and to keep it going for as long as that. I can totally understand if you didn't quite make it at that playing, and that's okay. Wind the video back and see if you can play it again. And if you do that a couple of days in a row, I think you will get a little bit further each time, and I think even one day you'll be able to go right from the beginning to the end. Give it a bit of time if you didn't quite make it today. All good, all good. So I've really enjoyed doing that. So if you have as well, please write about it in the comments section down below the video, and I very much look forward to seeing you again soon. Goodbye.